Niners are ready to come out swinging for the crown. Hey, at this point, you're either a winner or you're history. It's the NFL on Fox.
Historic and picturesque Candlestick Park, home of the San Francisco 49ers. It's been raining in San Francisco for most of the week, and the field should be soggy as a result. Today, rain is expected to be combined with severe wind, which of course could put a damper on both offensive units. And leading the way for the 49ers, the 1994 MVP of the league, Steve Young. He is the first quarterback to post 4 straight seasons with the highest quarterback rating. And his counterpart, Steve Walsh of the Chicago Bears. Walsh may not have the same kind of numbers, but the bottom line is the Bears win when he's in the lineup. They're 9-3 with him as a starter. And welcome to the NFC Divisional Playoffs. And thank you very much for tuning in here to Fox. And the guys are feeling good and perky already. Folks, it is good to have you alongside with us. I'm James Brown, and as usual, joining me with 3 guys who know an awful lot about postseason play. What in the world are you giggling about already?
I told him Steve Young didn't call his own plays. I slid him a card.
Doesn't call his own plays. These guys, hey, we haven't even started the show and they're at it already.
Boy.
We've been working hard to keep Howie from getting angry with that defensive mindset and hitting people. What can we do today?
Give him a pay raise. I know that'll make him happy.
He's working on it.
Hey, I'm just a squirrel trying to save a nut for the winner. I'm happy.
In fact, what we can do to bring a smile to his face, 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday.
Move on. Producer said move on.
Howie, now, we understand you're too old to play defensive tackle, but you're not too old to be a full-size action hero.
I love it. And we will get some comments from the birthday boy in just a bit. All right, today's game in San Francisco features the Bears going up against the 49ers, holders of the league's most prolific offense. Now, the Bears are the biggest playoff underdogs since Super Bowl III, when the New York Jets weren't even given a chance against the Colts. Will history repeat itself in the soggy and windy confines of Candlestick? Well, we'll find out from our good friends Dick Stockton and Matt Millen. Gentlemen.
All right, James Brown, thank you very much. And weather has been on everyone's mind all week, and we have not had any rain today, but we expect that weather will be a factor today. A storm front 15 miles to the north. The forecast, we have to say, is ominous. No rain yet, but the wind is picking up and gusting down to 35 miles per hour. And Matt Millen, a guy who's played on this field. What's the field condition right now, and how will the wind affect the teams, do you think?
Well, I think the field right now is soft. You know, they took the tarp off at about 9:30, so it's wet on the edges, but they resodded the thing right down the middle. And I think as the game goes on, it's going to get softer and softer. And the wind now, that could be the factor. I think only in the kicking game, because both these teams really employ a short passing game.
JB referred to the 49ers and their prolific offense. Is this the best offensive team the 49ers have ever had?
Yeah, they think they are. And I think they use that for 2 things. I think for confidence, number 1, and then I think as a building block. And I think nobody's been able to stop them, and they believe that. And so what do you do if you're the Chicago Bears? I think what you got to do is be a good tackling team, make sure everything happens in front of you, and don't deviate from what you've done. Just play your game.
Okay, so that's what you do to try to stop the 49ers, which very few teams have been able to do. But if you're the Bears, what's your best way of winning today?
Well, you say a novena, and you get, no, I think what you got to do is not deviate at all. Pound the football, run inside. Control the football. Don't let them have the ball. If you can do that, you got yourself a shot.
Personnel moves today. Mark Bortz, they expected that he would play left guard. He hurt his back late in the week in practice. He is inactive today. Richard Dent is going to finally get a chance to play. He last saw action in the second week. The former Bear will be in on passing downs, and we're going to be looking for Deion Sanders. Prime time to return kickoff today for the 49ers, and that should make it exciting. That's the story here. We'll see you in a little while. Back to Hollywood now and James Brown.
All right, Dick and Matt, thank you very much. Matt Millen talking about saying a novena. As a matter of fact, Howie, again, Dick talked about Richard Dent making a return to action first time since September the 11th. What about the soggy field? What kind of effect will that have on
Well, I
him?
talked to Richard. He's raring to go. He's had a great week of practice. As a matter of fact, when they tried to substitute him in practice, he raised a fit, calling everybody all kinds of ugly names. He wants to play on every down, but he will be in on third down. He says his knee is fine. His health is great. His legs are back. He's gotten the cobwebs off. And he says he's ready to steal the show. And he said, everything you hear about the San Francisco 49ers is true. He has died and gone to heaven. When he sneezes, somebody's there to blow his nose.
Ooh, boy, Jimmy, what about the weather on both teams?
Really, I always thought as a coach that the weather was a great equalizer, and this might be something that would help Chicago. And it fits right into their game plan because they want to run the football, eat up the clock, and try to win this thing in the fourth quarter. And there's only one problem with that philosophy because Steve Walsh, there's only one thing that he hates more than a wet ball, and that's a windy day.
This game, as a quarterback, I look at, we talked about weather conditions. So right off the bat, if I'm a fan, I want to look out and I want to see which one of the quarterbacks can handle the football. We know the 49ers like to throw the football. The field might slow down Ricky Waters. If it's sloppy, he can't cut and turn. So there goes your sweep game. But I want to find out which one of the quarterbacks can handle the football. Also, if I'm safeties, I might get a little tighter now because if they can't handle it, they're not going to throw deep.
And Jimmy talked about Steve Walsh not liking windy conditions. He doesn't have very big hands around that ball anyway.
I know, but his mama likes him.
His mama likes you very much too, Terry. All right, folks, here's what else is happening in the National Football League. At a scheduled meeting today, the Seattle Seahawks plan to offer their head coaching job to University of Miami coach Dennis Erickson. Now, Erickson, who has 6 years left on a guaranteed contract with Miami, has narrowed his professional choices down to Seattle and Denver. Now, observing the tenuous position of pro coaches like ex-Jet Pete Carroll, Erickson is insisting on authority to hire and fire the player personnel director as well as his own staff. Now, should Seattle agree, the deal could be worth $1 million a year. Imagine if Miami had beaten Nebraska. Well, on the Montana watch, Joe is 99% sure that he will return to the Chiefs next year for one more shot at a Super Bowl. However, Joe's future remains a family decision. And the Montanas have sold their Kansas City home because Joe's wife, Jennifer, would prefer that their children start school next fall at their permanent California home. But Chief fans, take heart. Jennifer did buy Joe an airplane for Christmas. Well, yes, indeed. Nice to have pockets, is it not, Terry? All right, folks, there's much more coming up on today's show, including a closer look at a new attitude sweeping over the 49ers. As you probably already know, a man named Deion Sanders has more than a little to do with the Niners' attitude adjustment and their dominating ways.
I don't know how things are different. I mean, I think we have a good time. We enjoy the sport a little more. We appreciate each other a little more. It's not all work and no play type atmosphere. And we gonna work hard, we gonna win, and we're gonna have a good time doing it.
NFL Special, the NFC Divisional Playoff, is brought to you by Aflac, insuring over 38 million people worldwide. By Quaker State 4x4 Motor Oil, the intelligent oil for hard-working engines. By Red Lobster, for the seafood lover in you. And by 1-800-COLLECT, the way to save on collect calls.
Getting ready to add to his postseason totals, the incomparable Jerry Rice of the 49ers. His 84 receptions and 13 touchdowns in the postseason are all-time records. And Donnell Wolford of the Bears might be thinking quite a bit about Jerry Rice. Star defensive back led the Bears with 5 interceptions this year, but is facing his biggest challenge of the season today. And another defensive standout for the Bears, defensive end Alonzo Spellman. He's a former first-round draft pick, and the Bears must have known something. He's second on the team with 7 sacks for the season. Back in Hollywood after this.